Yeah. All right. Shall we? Okay, let's do it.
Hi, I'm Peter Buckle, and this is Design Office Hours, a podcast about design, designers, and careers in design. I talk about creating, leading, and navigating creative work at this place we call work. Whether you're a student or just starting out or an established designer, welcome to the pod. How to get in touch with me and the show? Email your questions and input at designofficehours@peterbuckle.com. Type it, record it, AI voice, type, record it, and send it. And follow me on Instagram at designofficehours. And last but not least, head over to peterbuckle.com at designofficehours to sign up for my mailing list to get notified about new episodes and other knowledge goodies. All right, let's get into it. What's on the menu for today? Today, we are continue to elaborate on a question we received a while ago. The question was, what are some main things to focus on when building a portfolio? I will point in the show notes to the previous episode that started this question. And today I'm going to elaborate and add a little bit to this. So another 4 points today to note down. All right, so one main thing to focus when building your portfolio, customizing your portfolio for different audiences. That's a question I get often also separately asked. Why is this important or why is it not important? We'll find out. I think a one-size-fits-all portfolio usually doesn't work too well. I think depending how you set this up in general, maybe also depending what you apply for, what roles you go for, but I think it might be good to at least look at your portfolio, given you have a certain job opportunity in front of you, and give it a critical look as in like, what could I improve here, right? And this could, or change towards it. And this could go as far as rearranging it entirely. I think it is important to at least look at your portfolio when you start applying for a particular role that you may have found or you're being asked to send a portfolio in. And what do I mean by this? It could be as little as just rearranging the order of the work that's in it. Maybe you want this particular audience to see and look at a particular part of work first before they get to something else. And it could go as far as removing a project or adding another project or swapping it out because this particular company, this particular job role has eventually something or is looking for something that you may have, but it's currently not in your portfolio. So considering that, I think is totally fair. I think on the practical side, I usually advise build your portfolio in a sort of very modular manner in the first place, right? Treat each project more as like a chapter, so you can just on the technical side easily swap it in and out. Maybe it's just a few different slides that you activate when you export again from your Figma, InDesign, whatever you use, Google Slides. And I think that is usually a good way to just not waste too much time to get ready for the next job opportunity that you may want to apply for. Second, the role of prototyping in your design portfolio. I think prototyping is super essential. I mean, designers, if we're not prototyping, we're not designers, right? So I think you need to showcase this. And it goes in digital as well as physical prototyping. And I often say a sketch is nothing more than an unrefined idea. But sketching doesn't mean it's pen and paper. I think a sketch can be in three-dimensional matters, forms. It could be tape and paper. It could be hot glue and cardboard. It's usually my favorite way of doing things. It could be also a digital sketch, right? It could be Photoshop sketch. It could be a CAD sketch even. But keep it rough. Be fast. But show these things. Show them when they're low fidelity. I think low fidelity prototypes add a lot of credibility because it's what really truly happens, right? You get a brief, you start working, and you figure out, okay, I probably should build this. I probably should choose now a medium that lets me move to a certain point, and you're going to pivot into a different medium to reach a different point, right? So I also don't think there is some sort of linear fashion that you start sketching first and then you go to CAD and then you build something. No, I think, should choose the medium that gets you going the quickest until you reach a point where you have to change the medium. And showing all this in a portfolio, I think, goes a long way. how to show this. If it's low fidelity and it's nitty gritty, keep it as such. Don't polish it up and make it sort of unreal, right? Product development is fuzzy and it's dirty and it's dusty if it's done in a shop. So bring all this in a coordinated and fashionable manner and put it into your portfolio. I think it's important to show your prototyping no matter what medium you use. And third, teamwork and your role in collaborative projects. No matter where you work, is it in design school or is it on the job later, for sure, you will always have people around you. Either they're your immediate team or you're embedded in a bigger team, but there are always others around you. And they either give direct input or indirect input. I think it's important in the portfolio to call this out, especially when you work with a direct team, right? You were part of it or you were leading it or whatnot. And there's no difference if it's on the job or if it's in design school. If it's a team project, I think you have an opportunity to talk about it extensively because it will shine a different side of light on you, and that is your personality and how you work in the company of others. It's not so much about your work eventually or the output. Of course, it's great and it's superb quality, but it gives you a chance to talk about this other part, this how do I work in the company of others and how do we handle together stress? How do we ideate? How do we get to novel ideas, etc., etc. So start with clearly defining what was your role in this team. How did you contribute to this group effort? It goes a long way. It's always good to call out who did what here and be honest about it. As I just mentioned, I think it's good maybe to, if there was conflict, I hope not. How did you eventually were part of it in resolving it? Maybe it was your strength actually in making two sides of the team work because there was constantly friction and you were the one who actually navigated this. This is something to totally call out, right? You're like a mediator. That's a great strength to have. I think each team has different roles. So what role did you play? How did you find this role? Was it assigned to you? Did you figure out that you kind of naturally gravitated to take on this part in the team? Did your role shift as the project went on, right? Did you took maybe leading steps later in the team effort when different priorities were important? So what was your role in the team and how did it evolve, if it evolved? And in the end, how did all this made you a better designer? What did you learn out of this team experience? I think there's a great deal in talking about this because, again, it shows how you self-reflect. It shows how you take learnings from this people angle, and how you eventually incorporate this in your further work and the work that comes after that. So I think those are great talking points. I believe every design school now also has team efforts going on. Again, when it's on the job, it's even easier because there's a team. And talk about this. And I've seen it too often just mentioned it's a team effort. Okay. But in my mind, when there's a team project in the portfolio or we get to an interview, I want to know all about this. I want to know about all the you in this group. All right, that's it for today. I hope this was somehow helpful. Send me your questions, send me your follow-up comments, questions, whatnot. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening.